him. I think he's transformed himself into a very mature person, and it's showing in the way he's replying, it's showing in the way he's setting example, and he's an inspiration to all his teammates. He knows his strengths in all the formats, and he sticks to his strength. We were talking off air how difficult it is when he's invincible, he's feeling invincible, but to control his instincts and play every shot to the merit of the ball, and there's no exaggeration, there's no overconfidence, there's no complacency, and it is very difficult, man. And I've not seen too many batsmen who are having such grit and determination and control over his instincts like the way Virat Kohli is showing in the last 6 to 8 months. And I think phenomenal, and rightly pointed out by Akash, in team there's no I, and I think his whole emphasis was not to get 100, not to get 100, but to win the game for Team India.
Win the game, and the hunger for runs, and the fans have an insatiable appetite to see victories. Virat Kohli has an insatiable appetite for runs, being the match winner, being the victory, and as rightly said, it's his confidence that translates into the rest of the team as well. We've got Kedar Jadhav joining us from Mahali. Kedar, thanks so much for joining us first and foremost. I mean, great win for Team India, obviously, as well. And, for you in the last game, you got the opportunity to bat. You've been doing the job with the ball, Kedar, but it must be so good to be part of a win like this today.
Yeah, obviously it's a great feeling to be part of winning side, and it was a crucial game for us because we lost the last game. So in terms of this series, we need to get the momentum back on our side again. So it's a good win for us today.
केदार, आकाश चोपड़ा बोल रहा हूँ, और आपने लॉटरी खरीदी अभी, आप खरीदने वाले हो?
नहीं, इंडियन टीम में खेलना ही लॉटरी के बराबर है, तो मैं वही एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ आकाश सर।
नहीं, आपकी लॉटरी भी लगी है और आपका जैकपॉट भी लगेगा, ये बात तो तय है, क्योंकि आप बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं। आपकी विकेटें आपके नाम के आगे हैं, आपकी इंटरनेशनल विकेट ज्यादा है, आपकी फर्स्ट क्लास और लिस्ट ए की मिलाकर भी, तो काम बहुत बढ़िया कर रहे हैं। लेकिन डेथ में जो नीचे बल्लेबाजी करना, अगर सीरियस नोट पे बात करें, जो नंबर 5, नंबर 6 की बैटिंग, केदार, उसके लिए तैयारी कैसे करते हैं? क्योंकि उसमें जीतने के लिए बहुत कम, हारने के लिए बहुत ज्यादा होता है जब आप बाहर जाते हैं, और आज भी अगर बैटिंग आती तो वही होता, तो माइंडसेट क्या रहता है आपका?
बेसिकली फ्रॉम लास्ट 3-4 इयर्स जो भी मैं इंडिया ए या आईपीएल में खेल रहा हूँ, यही नंबर पे बैटिंग कर रहा हूँ, तो एक प्रकार का माइंडसेट तैयार हो गया है कि जाते ही मतलब रन बॉल वाली बैटिंग करनी है और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आखिर तक रह के मैच फिनिश करके आना है। सो आई गेस फ्रॉम लास्ट 4-5 साल से अच्छी तरह माइंडसेट भी और फिजिकली भी उसी प्रकार से ट्रेनिंग हो गई है कि जाके मैच फिनिश करना है। सो आई सी माई सेल्फ एज अ फिनिशर ओनली, सो दैट्स समथिंग natural to me, I guess.
केदार, लक्ष्मण बात कर रहा हूं मैं। केदार, जब आप विराट कोहली का बल्लेबाजी देखते हैं, क्या सीखने को मिलता है आपको?
हेलो लच्चू भाई, एक्चुअली मतलब सीखने वाली तो हर कोई चीज़ सीखने वाली है। मतलब बैटिंग में तो मतलब द हंगर फॉर हिज रन, whenever he gets in he makes it big and make it count. He doesn't throw his wicket, and I guess the consistency part is the best part, I guess. In whatever format you take, he is always there to score runs, and he doesn't just gets happy by scoring hundreds. He'll make it big hundreds and match winning. So that's something is very learning from him, I guess.
बहुत ही बढ़िया। और जब आप बॉलिंग डाल रहे हैं, MS धोनी आपको क्या बोलते हैं? क्या गेम प्लान रहता है और क्या स्ट्रेटेजी रहता है आपके लिए और MS धोनी के लिए?
बेसिकली ज़्यादा कुछ वो बोलते नहीं है, मगर जैसे ही मैं विकेट निकालता हूँ तो वो एक ही बात कहते कि यार तू कैप्टन को गाली देने वाला काम कर रहा है, कि वो सब बोलेंगे कि तू विकेट निकालता है और फिर कैप्टन तेरे को रुकाता है, तो कैप्टन रुकाता ही क्यों है तेरे को? तो मैंने उनको बोल दिया कि मैं बोल दूंगा जो भी पूछेगा कि मेरा ऑप्शन थोड़ा ऑकवर्ड है, तो मैं ज़्यादा लंबे स्पेल डाल नहीं पाता, तो कैप्टन मुझे सही हिसाब से यूज़ कर रहा है 2-2 ओवर के।
Obviously, केदार, आज आपको बड़े विकेट्स भी मिले उनसे, विलियमसन, एंडरसन एंड ऑफसेट बैट्समैन टॉम लेथन। आपकी बैटिंग के बारे में जो आकाश ने आपको पूछा था, यू सी योरसेल्फ एज अ फिनिशर, पर्टिकुलरली अगर MS धोनी नंबर 4 में बैटिंग करने आने वाले हैं तो आइदर यू और मनीष पांडे जिनको फिनिशिंग की अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलने वाली है, MS धोनी ने स्पेसिफिकली आपको क्या बताया है इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेकिंग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एज अ फिनिशर?
ऑब्वियसली माही भाई ने यही कहा है कि जब भी आप खेलते हो जितना नीचे नंबर पे बैटिंग करोगे उतना आपको कम रिस्क वाले शॉट्स खेलने पड़ते हैं और ज़्यादा परसेंटेज क्रिकेट खेलना पड़ता है. सो ये एक चीज़ है जो मुझे अभी अडेप्ट करनी है, बिकॉज नॉर्मली आई प्ले टू मैनी शॉट्स क्लियरिंग द फील्डर एंड ऑल. सो आई गेस दिस वन थिंग आई नीड टू लर्न फ्रॉम हिम इज playing percentage shots and made to consistently every game whenever I get my opportunity to finish the game.
Absolutely, Kedar. Looking forward to that. All the best. Thank you so much for joining us today and get an opportunity to rest before we see you in Ranchi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Great for Team India members to speak to us, especially after an emphatic victory like that where, Kedar Jadhav has been a big gain so far of this series. He's given us so many talking points, whether it's his batting, especially his bowling. But yes, coming back to Virat Kohli, who himself today crossed the fastest across 3,000 ODI runs at home. It was a big moment, which is why he's our hero player of the day. Timing of the innings, definitely something important. But Venus, we also spoke about the way that he plays his cricket, the shots that he executes.
Fantastic, and he's got such prowess where for one single delivery he can hit 3 shots, and that's why he's invincible, he's unstoppable, and he's always going to be creating a lot of doubt and problems to the opposition captain. And fantastic control over his shot selection was really good to see, and he played high percentage shots, and fantastic to see him finishing the innings. When he plays that kind of shots, he can easily clear. Right? He can easily clear the boundary. We have seen that in IPL. But to control that till he knows that India is not going to lose the match shows that what control he has got over his instincts and over his shots.
And discipline and aggression, they don't tend to go hand in hand. People who are very disciplined, they tend to be slightly timid from time to time. Who are very aggressive, they tend to cross that line too often. But here is a guy who's a perfect example of the amalgamation of the two. And that's what actually separates him from the rest. He's in the league of extraordinary gentlemen. He's like Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, Tiger Woods. You talk about Lionel Messi. I think he's in that league where he's not getting things wrong and he's not letting anything in the way of him achieving what is there to be achieved in the end. And that's where if he continues to bat in the same vein, trust me, there will be no record that won't be in front of his name.
Almost every match we're talking about something that he's managed to emulate. Controlled aggression, whether it's his batting or whether it is his own personality. That is the maturity of Virat Kohli, the batsman, India's match winner. And of course, he himself could admit a little bit of fortune coming his way. He spoke about it. Ross Taylor would be looking back at that situation saying that this could have been one of the biggest turning points, which was a gripping story, the drop catch. Well, gentlemen, what to say about this one?
Catches and matches. He didn't just drop the catch, he dropped the match. When the batsman is at 6, you think that he might just give you another opportunity. But if you drop Virat Kohli, even when he's on 6, you don't live to tell the tale, and that's what has happened with Ross Taylor here. He was applauding in the end. Would want to forget, but it's a nightmare because it's going to haunt him.
But it speaks about the character of Ross Taylor because, I know the camera zoomed to him, but he's pretty much the first one to applaud Virat Kohli when he got to that century. That just shows you about, the spirit of cricket, and that's why we really enjoy watching this New Zealand team, and we enjoy having Scotty Styrus joining us as well. Scott from Mohali, thanks so much for joining us. Of course, just coming back to purely if you can take the fact that, the result didn't go New Zealand's way, but if you can just talk about witnessing Virat and MS Dhoni with the kind of batting or the chase that they executed, that really was something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was, and it took us all by surprise when MS Dhoni walked out at number 4. And what I really liked, it was an innings that wasn't typical of the way he plays. He normally gives himself a lot of time and then goes through the gears and then comes home and wins the game. But he was aggressive right from the start. He showed his intent. And with those two, I can tell you for a fact, I was talking with Tim Sally at half-time, they still fear MS Dhoni, even though you could argue he's not quite as dominant as he used to be. But when he's there, and especially when he's there with Virat Kohli, you know that they need to get rid of certainly one of them to make the other players do all the work. Impressive batting, I thought, from MS Dhoni. Took a lot of the pressure off Virat Kohli, and then he took over, and it was a masterclass from there on.
Scotty, Lakshman here. What do you think is the problem with the New Zealand batsmen? They set a good foundation and they lose their way in the middle by losing a lot of wickets in cluster. How do they solve this problem?
They certainly do keep losing wickets in clusters. And to be perfectly honest, we've been doing that for years. When we have a bad session in a test match or a bad 10 overs, it tends to be a horrendous 10 overs or a horrendous session where we lose 4, 5, 6, 7 wickets, and it's tough to come back from. You know, that tail-end partnership between Jimmy Neesham and Matt Henry papers over a lot of cracks because 285 doesn't look too bad. The reality is they needed 310, the prediction, to make this Indian team work. At the moment, they've got a middle order that just simply is not getting the job done. Corey Anderson, who's showing that he hasn't played enough cricket over the last wee while. Mitchell Santner's not scoring the runs that his talent shows. Ronke as well has had a bad 2016. So even though they got that start, they got through to 153 for 2. But when you lose that many wickets, it was 5 for 27 at one point, 6 wickets in 9 overs. You've really got nowhere to go, and in the end, it just prolonged the agony that they got through to 285.
Scotty, Akash Chopra this side. How much was that dew a factor? Was it actually a factor because you were at the ground? Was there grease on the surface that made the ball wet and difficult for the bowlers? And my second question is about playing with 4.5 bowlers. You did the same in Delhi. Devsich was your 5th bowler. Here again, you know that you're playing Neesham because he's giving you that batting depth. But you actually, in reality, a bowler shot every time you go in.
Well, to answer your first question, Akash, the dew wasn't a huge factor. Look, there was a little bit there, but I think both captains will acknowledge that it wasn't as wet as they thought it would be. There was a bit of wind around this afternoon, and maybe that had a bit to do with the fact that it wasn't as bad as first thought. So, no, I don't think the New Zealand bowlers can use that as an excuse for what happened. I thought they tried tried hard. To be perfectly honest, because they simply had to defend a substandard total. And, you know, you're right, at the moment the balance isn't right. We seem to be talking about that before and after every match of this series. And it's not a New Zealand way of playing the game. We've always had we've always had, you know, too many bowlers at many times. We normally have up to 7 or 8 because everybody tends to bowl. And listening to MS Dhoni at the post-match presentation, he said, I want someone in that top 5, in his top 5, who can bowl. New Zealand at the moment don't have that with Corey Anderson out injured with his back. So I don't think this would be a normal side, or it certainly is a stronger one when Corey Anderson is back bowling. At the moment he's not, so you're right, it's 4.5 bowlers, whether it be Anton Devsich or Jimmy Neesham in the side. So they've got to try and find a way to get them both in there, and at the moment it would normally be Tom Latham's spot up for grabs and Devsich would take that, but that can't happen, so maybe it has to be a gut talk to make ways so that they can get that in there.
Absolutely. Scotty, thanks so much for joining us. And that's something that we've been talking about throughout the series, where the Williamson is missing, additional bowling option. Thanks for talking to us. We will, of course, talk to you in Ranchi as well. But yes, speaking about, we have to keep coming back to that partnership really between Virat Kohli and Mahendra Singh Dhoni, because not only did it set up India's wins, but also gave us so many talking points from that point of view. That partnership, which was the second most successful between them, also does this. When you look at averages in terms of the best averages when chasing, well, now Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni occupy the top 2 slots, gentlemen, and that's impressive because that is Michael Bevan is third, 45 for 86, and you've got MS Dhoni at 101, you've got Virat Kohli at 90 when you consider about 30 innings minimum.
And there's no surprise, both of them are probably India's one of the best batsmen when they're chasing, because they have got great ability to absorb pressure, and they have got great sense of timing, what to do when, situational awareness, and I think it's brilliant to see both of them working well in tandem. Fantastic for India, but also good for the opposition.
But this is interesting, watching the two of them bat. Now, first and foremost, Akash, you had MS promoting himself. We spoke specifically in our build-up about MS, the finisher, the strike rates going down. But when he's batting alongside, has the confidence of batting alongside someone like Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni can be the kind of player that he's been for India in the past.
Well, yes and no. I think MS Dhoni alone should be a big enough power to win games on his own. Once in a while, he'll be required to do that because he'll be batting with, not always with Virat Kohli, there'll be a Manish Pandey and Kedar Jadhav as well. So you expect Dhoni of old, Dhoni of yore would actually bat alone and win games. I was surprised that Yuvraj Singh's name is not there in that chasing list because these two had actually formed a fantastic combination. And when you talk about finishers, you can't just have one, you need two because you can't alone do too many things. With regards to Mahendra Singh Dhoni batting at number 4, that's great, that's fantastic. But he also needs to send down a message to the likes of Manish Pandey and Kedar Jadhav that even if you fail, it doesn't matter. Your place in the side is secure. So that's something that I hope has been passed on to the younger guys because all this while MS was talking about in this team, I cannot bat at 4. You know, I don't have a senior member at 5 and 6, but now he's opted to bat at 4. That means the younger members are now being pushed down to 5 and 6 and 7. So that is where I think the messages must have been passed on. Anil is there as well to make sure that the right kind of signals are sent down the team. But then Dhoni at 4 is of course an asset. If he continues to be in this way, outstanding.
Message passed on, but it has been executed. That's what he said in his post-match presentation as well. And that's what Virat spoke about, Manish's ability to come in and help him finish off this game. But of course, MS Dhoni today as the batsman, as the glove man. I mean, lightning did strike us. Let's have a look at MS Dhoni as our Raymond complete player. Devious look quickly because it'll be over before you know it. That's how fast his couplings are.
Yeah, I think it's a hallmark of MS Dhoni, the wicketkeeper. Quick hands, in a flash, he stems, and the reason for that is his unorthodox, and that actually is his strength, because he doesn't waste time by receiving the ball, which any good keeper who talks about technique will tell. But he is the one who knows his strength and backs his strength. Fantastic to see that. Great presence of mind. And today I thought the New Zealanders bowled too many short deliveries at the start of MS Dhoni's innings, and that is a strong point, and he capitalized superbly on that leg.
You know, I have an issue actually. I have an issue not with Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the batsman, or Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the keeper. I have an issue with Star Sports because I think I do have an issue, and I'll tell you why. That whenever he's on screen, see whether he's keeping or he's batting, there has to be a warning underneath that these acts are performed by a professional. Please don't try at home because that's who he is. He's an unorthodox batsman, an unorthodox keeper, but he's bloody efficient. He is there as lightning quick behind the stumps. We talk about 3G, 4G, whatever, fast. I think he's the fastest. You can't really have faster hands. When he bats in a very unorthodox manner. He steps down, then pulls, steps down and just bats, and then steps out and hits the ball in the stand. So he's a different player altogether, where you can't really have game plans when he's there as a batsman. As a keeper, he's just sensational. Nobody, I promise you, nobody can be a Mahendra Singh Dhoni behind the stumps.
Just to add to that, MS Dhoni also tells, that you should know your strengths and back your strengths, because that is only going to give you results, consistent results. So don't try to copy someone else. Be yourself, and good results will come to people who believe in their own abilities, don't doubt their abilities.
And that efficiency also today gets him a slice of history. You happen to look at what MS Dhoni has managed to achieve today, not just in terms of attributing to India's victory. He has become the 5th Indian player to cross 9,000 ODI runs. Overall, he becomes the 3rd ever designated wicketkeeper to do that after Kumar Sangakkara and Adam Gilchrist. And also, how did he get to those 9,000 runs? In style, with the 6, which means that now he surpassed Sachin Tendulkar by the most sixes by an Indian in ODIs, 196, and we're still counting.
Just to understand the importance of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, you took 2 other names, Adam Gilchrist,
Yes.
Kumar Sangakkara. Kumar Sangakkara didn't keep towards the end of his career. He actually just played as a batsman. Adam Gilchrist and Sangakkara both batted in the top 3. So when you're batting in the top 3, you're primarily there as a batsman, a proper batsman, getting 50 overs to play. So then you have the opportunity to score 9,000 runs if you're as good as these two were. But with Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who always batted, today was an aberration. He doesn't bat at 4, he bats at 5, 6. So somebody who bats at 5, 6 and can still accumulate 9,000 runs at an average of 51 plus, you're talking about a legend, and legend like nobody else, because he's in a league of himself. It's his own league, that stratosphere that you've been talking about. So he's belonged to that space for the last, ever since he started playing. He is a different beast, and nobody Trust me, nobody, whether it's Gilchrist, whether it's Sangakkara, due respect for what they've done, the great players. But when we talk about a wicket keeper who's a finisher, that's the number that he does, and also is the captain. So he's actually playing three roles. He's a keeper, he's a batsman, he's also a captain. I think nobody can even come close to the kind of workload that this guy has taken.
Look at our build-up. We'd shown you exactly that. We had visuals of MS Dhoni batting in the nets. How was he batting in the nets? He was batting with those big shots. So maybe he had this game plan in mind that I am going to come up the order. Doesn't matter the situation. Because look, they had a plan for him. New Zealand had a plan for him in Delhi. You saw a little bit of a struggle as well against the left stance. When you saw a little bit that they had tried to do it, but it was a different MS Dhoni with a different execution today.
Yeah, and that's what we discussed before the match started. And I think it was very evident that he was going to come and express himself. And I think especially against the left-arm spinner. And as I mentioned before, the length with the fast bowlers bowl early on was not right. And when you bowl to a batsman who's not in great rhythm, but you bowl to his strengths, then the batsman of MS Dhoni's stature and capabilities will get used to the pace of the wicket and will feel comfortable. And once he gets it eye in, it's very difficult to stop him. So just the mindset, the change in mindset was very evident right from the practice session in Mohali, and that showed in the way he approached this innings at number 4.
And that is the evolution. We spent a progressive amount of time talking about really, Dhoni's dilemma. Dhoni's dilemma, will he bat up the order? Does he need to finish games? Does he need to set it up? Let's find out from the man himself concerning batting at number 4. This is what MS Dhoni had to say in the press conference.
Going at number 4, it was important to go and play the big shots. I could have, there's a first innings I played and I got runs, but it's not easy to come out of it. So I could have taken maybe a few more innings, but it's good that I got runs. And at the same time, what happens is it gives a chance to some of the other youngsters to bat lower down the order and see as to what really needs to be done, how calculative they need to be. There's one way of chasing, which is hit, and ultimately you achieve the target. And often on slower wicket, that's quite difficult to achieve. So I feel it's overall good for everyone, personally for me also, so that I go out there and I'm not looking too much into what needs to be done. Rather than that, I'm looking to set the pace of the game. And quite a few oppositions, they put all the fielders inside, and I'm still looking to pierce the field. I can play the shots, over the fielder, and I feel that's what is something that was needed in my batting. And today was the first day, and hoping to continue with this.
So you got it. You got your answer. He wants to continue in this. You don't have too many left before the Champions Trophy. So if this is the practice runs, it gives Dhoni perhaps an opportunity to, of course, bat alongside Virat Kohli. And secondly, the message is really clear to the youngsters and the returning seniors, perhaps in the next ODI, that you guys are going to finish the innings off for us.
Well, yes, but that's an art that needs mastering over a period of time. Don't expect Manish Pandey and Kedar Jadhav to be your finishers.
But what about Jadeja or Raina?
Well, they are. See, Jadeja and Raina. Raina maybe yes, but Raina, how does he fit into this team at this point in time? I don't see it happening at this time and place. So you've got a Kedar Jadhav, you need to invest in him. You cannot, must not, and that will be a travesty if now Jadhav is batting at 6 and has been shown the door if he fails once or twice, because that will be criminal, because he's not been given enough opportunities to make a claim for himself. Now the responsibilities are different, Mayanti. When you talk about Mahendra Singh Dhoni at 4 and Virat Kohli at 3, so make sure that 8 out of 10 times you've got these guys batting, one of at least these guys batting till the 50th over, or later deeper into the innings to handhold Manish Pandey and Kedar Jadhav. If that doesn't happen, then this whole strategy can backfire. But the good thing is that's likely to happen more often than not.
But it also depends on the kind of opening stand you get, isn't it right? Because there are opportunities when you might have, Rohit Sharma playing a typical Rohit Sharma innings, and then you need to adjust your plan accordingly as to how to finish those games.
And the experience of both Virat Kohli and Dhoni is amazing. They are very experienced. I mentioned about situational awareness. They know what to do in different conditions when the ball is seaming, or when the batsmen are in top form. So I think it's important for them to go and express themselves. And even today you saw that partnership showed that why they are class players. And they know exactly to adapt. And I'm sure that MS Dhoni at number 4, he will start getting more runs consistently, and that automatically will transform more so from his confidence point of view, because you want MS Dhoni at his best. And whenever MS Dhoni is at his best, invariably he'll win you matches. And nothing better than Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni together batting. we've seen their partnership list. Top of the list, they will put pressure on the opposition bowlers, and usually the batsmen who follow them will be coming in a very comfortable position.
We've spoken extensively about that partnership and what a treat it is to watch, obviously because they're two assured batsmen, but also it's the way they're both so fit. They're both probably the best runners. As they're running between the wickets that perhaps makes a difference.
Body's the temper, and then let them treat it that way as well. See, it's an asset. If you have the strength, you want to muscle the ball for a 4 or a 6, and everybody has a different strength. But this is a strength that nobody talks about. And then physical fitness, that kind of strength is a fantastic thing, because the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. So that is what these guys are doing. They run like hairs between the stumps, and they're just phenomenal. They put pressure on themselves. That okay, let's convert 2s into 3s, 1s into 2s, put pressure on the fielder. These are slightly bigger boundaries as well at Mohali for sure, and then just run the opposition ragged, and that's what they've done. And Virat Kohli is sensational. Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been sensational ever since, because for a man who can actually hit 6s at will, he is extremely quick between the stumps and is a great judge of run as well.
Did the tortoise beat the hare? Not in this case. Not in this case, gentlemen. No surprise. And there are so many fans at Mohali anticipating, of course, MS Dhoni, Virat Kohli. And we also found a fan of Kane Williamson, our Gioni fan of the day. And we'll be back on Kent Cricket Live. I've got the Gioni S6S with me, and since the fans are having a crazy good time in Chandigarh, I've got an idea. Let's see who can find out the best thing for one of their favorite cricketers to do the crazy Chandigarh style. Alright, let's speak to the fans. Hi guys, how are you? Having a good time? आपके जो favorite cricketers हैं, अगर आपको एक दिन मिलेगा उनके साथ, what would be the crazy Chandigarh thing that you would do?
Okay, my favorite cricketer is MS Dhoni. Of course, I love him a lot. So I'll take him around to the Sukna Lake for the beautiful sunrise in the morning on the bicycle, not on a car or some bike. On the bicycle, we'll ride along to the Sukna Lake and have a very good time over there, because this beautiful sunrise is like memorizing over there.
आपका favorite cricketer कौन है?
Virat Kohli.
और आप क्या करेंगे विराट कोहली?
Well, I'll start early in the morning. I cannot miss any time. We have to go in for a morning walks, just stroll and have nice talk.
मुझे बहुत पसंद है.
I know, and we'll surely go for boating. And then Chandigarh का वो जो double decker bus है हमारा tourism का, I'll take a round, entire round with him, the entire city.
लेकिन बहुत मजा आएगा. And sir, what about you? आपकी अपनी favorite cricketer?
केन विलियमसन.
Oh, Kane Williamson. क्या दिखाएंगे?
मैं इनको सुबह सुखना तक ले जाऊंगा. वहाँ पे सुखना ले जाऊंगा. वहाँ पे बोटिंग करवानी है. फिर एक दो सीक्रेट जगह वहाँ ले जाऊंगा उनको.
सीक्रेट जगह तो क्या मतलब?
वो फिर सीक्रेट है.
अरे सर, अगर आप सीक्रेट नहीं बताएंगे तो
उसके बाद गेड़ी रूट के बाद साल ढाबा. उसके बाद उन्होंने यही कहो रहना है. उन्होंने शिफ्ट हो जाना है चंडीगढ़.
There you have it, the all-new Gioni S6S, guys. You all gave such a fantastic answers. Instead of the cricketers, आप मुझे ले जाओ यार. मुझे भी बहुत मजा आएगा. But I think we're planning a romantic date with Virat Kohli. And I think you deserve new phone, your Gioni S6S.
Congratulations.
But since we all had such a good time and you gave me fantastic answers, एक selfie बनता है?
Sure.
Come on, let's take a selfie. Ready?
Cricket in Delhi, it's always the famous Firoz Shah Kotla ground here. It was the second one-day international in India versus New Zealand.
MS will spin the coin. Heads is the call. What's it written? Call, and it is tail. MS, you won the toss again. What have you to say?
Ball first. Second one-day international here at the Firoz Shah Kotla. India winning the toss yet again. What's with the toss? And it's such an important toss when you have conditions like this. Excellent batting conditions here with Martin Gupton, one of the two openers.
Tom Latham, who was brilliant, carrying his bat. through the innings in Dharamshala.
Beautiful delivery there from Umesh Yadav. Just a little bit of movement. And a coach's dream that. A batsman's nightmare though. But what a delivery. Cut to the gap man out for a duck. It's none for one. Superb average. Excellent strike rate. Great. Played a lot of those cover tries in Dharamshala. Tom Latham gets his first runs. Allows him to bowl the Yorker very, very well. This one was up in the air, but wide of the fielder at mid-wicket. He takes the aerial route and clears the boundary. So the first six of the game. That's in the air and put down.
Not a genuine half volley again, was it? And that's what we're talking about. Tough to get your timing. Good athlete, Hardik Pandya.
Sweep again in the gap. It's gone all the way. I think it might have. Oh, that's out as well, I think. Yes, he's got another. Golden arm.
Was the angle taking it away from the leg stump, but the problem is too deep in the crease. Now the Chowdhury reckons it hit leg stump, and I think it's not a bad call at all. Tom Latham, the man dismissed.
तो बंद कर दो उसको रिकॉर्डिंग चालू गीता बराबर रिकॉर्डिंग करे हर हवा नहीं करते रहे कौन दिया मामी दीजिए करने का ना अच्छा कर आइला क्या किया दाल पे किस क्या तो वो चीज बोल रही क्या दाल पे किस क्या ना वो चीज बोल रही पाकिस्तानी एक्टर लोग को अलाउ नहीं दिया था ना, तो इसके लिए बंद कर दिया।